and welcome to episode 41 of Book Club. Today I am reading a few pages of Weird, Wild, Amazing, written by Tim Flannery and illustrated by Sam Caldwell. This book gives you amazing facts about all sorts of animals living in the desert grasslands, water, sky, and forest. Did you know there is such a thing as a zombie ant or a moon jelly? Read this to find out more. Sharks. Sharks have a reputation for being fearsome hunters, which is very much deserved for certain species. Many sharks don't pose any threat to you, though. From the tiny sharks that don't have mouths big enough to bite your ankle, to the gentle giants that only eat plankton. You would also be surprised at some of the things that can hurt a shark. Spoiler alert. One of these things is the water they live in. Sharks do things that are endlessly fascinating, like eating their pesky siblings and living in volcanoes. Yes, that's really true. Where can I see a shark? Sharks live in every ocean on the planet, from freezing Arctic waters to warm tropical beaches. Ancient giants. Megalodons are extinct sharks that lived between 2 million and 25 million years ago. They were 50 meters long and had jaws strong enough to crunch a car or whale, which is what they hunted. Cars didn't exist then. Whale shark patterns. The patterns on whale sharks are highly varied, like human fingerprints. No two whale sharks have the same pattern. Hunting and eating. Most sharks are carnivores. Common shark snacks include fish, sea lions, seals, dolphins, turtles, rays, and plankton. But hungry sharks have been known to eat all sorts of things. The skull of a polar bear was once found in the stomach of a Greenland shark. Whale sharks take in a large amount of water as they gulp down mouthfuls of plankton and tiny fish. They can't drink it all, so they filter in the food and spit the unwanted water back out. They can expel up to 1.5 million liters of water per hour, which gives you an idea of how much these giant sharks eat. For some sharks, the smell of blood in the water is enough to send them into a feeding frenzy. A great white shark can sense just one drop of blood in 100 liters of seawater. Freshwater sharks are so flexible they can bend their bodies in half. Their tails can be as long as their entire body, and they use them to hunt by flipping them forward so violently that the fish they hit are smashed into pieces. Cookie cutter sharks are only about 30 centimeters long, but they have huge triangular teeth in their lower jaws. They feed by swimming up to whales and other large marine animals and biting, then twisting to cut out a circle of flesh. Whales are sometimes covered with the circle scar left by these sharks. Don't poke my eye. Sharks are pretty tough, but they still have weak spots. Their eyes. Some sharks have an extra eyelid, which is a thin but strong membrane that sits underneath their external eyelids and gives an extra layer of protection to their eyeballs. Not all sharks have this, so they have to find another way to keep their eyes safe from their flailing prey. The great white shark uses a pretty basic solution. It just rolls its eyes back so you can only see the whites of their eyes. One handy side effect is that it makes them look even more intimidating. A group of sharks is called a shiver. Long lives. Greenland sharks can often live for 272 years and possibly even up to 400 years. That's longer than any other vertebrate on Earth. These sharks keep growing as adults but only grow 1 centimeter per year. Knowing how old a shark is can be tricky, and there's plenty of room for error. The most common method is by counting the rings of cartilage that build up over time on their spines. This is similar to the way trees can be aged by counting the rings within their trunks. You can tell how old Greenland sharks are by counting the layers on their eyeballs, which grow new layers over time. Pesky parasites. 90% of Greenland sharks have a parasite that lives and feeds on their eyeballs. These parasites cause so much damage that the sharks become blind. Luckily, they spend most of their time deep in cold, dark waters, so they're not dependent on their eyesight. Can sharks drown? Some sharks need to swim constantly so that they can breathe. Sharks don't actually breathe through their nostrils. They only use those for smelling. They use their gills to breathe, pulling in fresh water in through their mouths as they swim, absorbing the oxygen, then passing the water out through their gills. If they stop swimming, the access to fresh supplies of oxygen-filled water also stops. Some types of shark do have a nifty way around this. Instead of waiting for water to flow through their mouths and gills, they actively suck water in and force it out through their gills, which means they can stop swimming and still access oxygen-rich water. Sharkcano. It sounds too wild to be true, but a group of scientists have discovered sharks living inside an underwater volcano. It's not a dormant volcano either. The volcano's name is Kabachi, and it sits underneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean. The water around it is hot, acidic, and cloudy, which makes it hard for lots of marine creatures to live there, so scientists are still looking into how the sharks are able to survive. Researching this incredible discovery is tricky, because sending a human into such a volatile area isn't wise. But they've found an incredibly cool way to gather the information they need. They're sending in robots. Amazing! If you're new to my channel, it's called Candy Corn Book Club. If you like my videos, click like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Look out for more videos. See you next time. Bye!